Can y'all hear me? That's what I want to know. What's going on, man? Happy fucking Monday. It's your host, Big Philly 305. And I hope y'all had a fantastic weekend. I hope y'all enjoyed your time Super Bowl Sunday with your friends and family. I hope y'all grilled it up, had a little fun. I know I did. I had a lot of fun over the weekend with Super Bowl Sunday. It was one hell of a game, man. One hell of a game between both parties, between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, I was dead wrong at the beginning of the season, but it's all right. You know, um, some takeaways to that game. Although and again, it was an entertaining game. Obviously a lot of offensive points that were scored on both sides. Even a defensive touchdown with the Kansas City Chiefs. So there's a lot of stuff that happened. But the takeaways from that game, I would say, at least on Philly's side, was one that turnover at the beginning of the game uh, kept that momentum up for the Kansas City Chiefs throughout the game, and it cost them. It cost them dearly with that one touchdown. Maybe I mean again, we could say these what ifs, but if they didn't have that touchdown, um, maybe they would have scored on that game on that drive, which would have gave a little bit more time for Jalen Hurts. That kickoff, the punt return, that big punt return also hurt the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously putting Kansas City within the 5 yard line with the go ahead score there. And the missed field goal too. If I'm not mistaken, that was with Kansas City. So there was some fun there. There was a lot of there was opportunities, is what I was saying for both sides. That's all I'm basically saying. Um, Although Patrick Mahomes won MVP for that game, honestly, I don't feel that he was the MVP of that game. I think that if there was anybody who was an MVP, I thought it was Jalen Hurts. I thought Jalen Hurts played a hell of a game. And for any doubters out there that are still doubting on Jalen Hurts, well, you ain't got shit now. That's all I gotta say. He played lights out, 300 yards passing, two scoring touchdowns, rushing over 100 yards rushing, if I'm not mistaken. So he also put his team on his back. Not to take away from Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, playing on that bum ankle is difficult in itself. So there was a lot there that happened in that high scoring game. Obviously, Rihanna's halftime show. I thought it was good. I understand that she was pregnant after the fact, but I thought it was good, man. I kind of was expecting somebody to be there. It wasn't like like that. It blew my mind, but it was there. It was all right. It was like, hey, it's all right. It's Rihanna. So what do you expect? Um, but there's that with the Super Bowl. Now that that's out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, now Miami Dolphins fans or football fans really in general can focus on two things. One, it's the off season of the NFL, and two, there is still a lot of football left, ladies and gentlemen. We do have XFL that starts this weekend. We have the USFL that starts in April. If you're into arena football, you have that. So there's plenty of options to get our football fix in the meantime as we wait for the next NFL season. But with that, we're going to go into the NFL offseason, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have another light to turn off and on, switch modes here, but that is where we're at. And we're going to have a little deep dive on some opportunities Miami might have. We're going to focus this show on the Dolphins to start, and I'm going to gradually go into other teams and different options that those teams might have. So to start, we're going to start off with the Dolphins as I share screen. Just give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to go into it. So I have currently I have for um, the Miami's Dolphins needs at this very moment. Inside linebacker, I have tackle, I have center or guard, depending on what they decide to do with Williams. Running back, obviously, and I have corner as my other reason being is depending on what happens with Byron Jones. We definitely want to have depth there or competition for guys like Cater Kohu. Obviously, we're also losing Nick Needham, so there's a lot of loss there at the corner position, valuable depth. So I definitely wanted to add that there. So I'm going to go into here NFL Free agent tracker is what I'm using right now on Sports Track. And this kind of gives you the list of different free agents that are available, right? And I go based off of position. And I had a list here earlier up, and I didn't actually print the fucking list like a dumbass. But anyways, so we're gonna do right tackles, ladies, because the need is that, if I'm not mistaken, uh, at getting somebody solid on the opposite side, I think should be key um, for the Miami Dolphins at this very moment. And as the shit loads up, there we go. I hope y'all can see. Let me know in the comment section if you guys can see this as I'm over here trying to fucking work this stupid shit. There we go. All right, ladies. Kind of pre-selected certain specific players that I was and one of the as familiar with Mike McDaniels. He's 28 years old. And the cool thing about this app is this website, which I'm pretty sure some of you guys are familiar with. It also kind of gives you market estimate, market value, and current ranking under the contract, right? So right now, his ranking is 4 years, 43 million is the market value, with right tackle ranked as number 8, and NFL ranked 191 salary. So that's more or less what he will command is about 10 points. Miami currently is under the cap, negative in the cap, which means not to make some moves to afford a guy like this. And obviously, if you go in and try to grab a guy like this, you gotta open up a lot more restructuring with other guys to go ahead and be able to cope on at least with that cap hit for that 10 million. So there's a lot there that you got to do. With that, I'm gonna welcome my boy, Mr. Cap, for life. What's going on, Cap? This shit lets you in. This shit slow as shit, lagging like crazy.
Hey, thank you, thank
What's
you.
going on, Pop? Hey, man, I know you wanted to be a part of this one, man, because I know you wanted to get into the deep
All right,
dive.
so where we at? Linebackers, running backs.
So we started off at the top. So I started off at the left tackle position. I'm the guy on Miami. I'm up is Mike McGlinchey here on screen. Let me know if you can see that. Um, he played tackle for the San Francisco 49ers. He's been in the league for 5 years. He was a first round pick in the 2018 draft out of Notre Dame. So there's definitely some familiarity there with Mike McDaniels. And basically, what I was saying was a guy like this, the type of contract. So the cool thing about Sports Track is that it kind of gives you the market value, right? Is more or less market value. His more or less market value is about 4 years, 43 million. So he's averaging a little over 10.5 million dollars a year,
So
10.7
this
to
is
be
pretty much
exact.
the net
So
worth
that's where you're going to
of the
be at,
player.
right? So right. Well, the estimated market value that he's going to command as he comes out based off of, and I'm assuming they're getting this based off of current tackle positions, elite tackles in the league, and what they're getting paid, and what the average tackle is making, and they base that off of that. So this is a more or less number here at
Like Orlando
10.7
Brown, how much
million.
would he be
And
asking for?
uh, well, Orlando plays. That's the issue. He plays the same side as Trent Armstead, if I'm not mistaken. He plays on the left side. So if you bring in a guy like Brown, which I'm pretty sure Brown's going to try to stay in Kansas City, and again, guys, this list that's here, these are taking into account guys that might resign, guys that might resign and get traded. So there's different things, scenarios that can happen post this video or this live. So keep that in mind as we talk about some of these guys. Um, I would probably start with him as first because of the familiarity. And I'm not gonna see play the what of, well, maybe he takes a discount because it's Miami. He's saving money in taxes. He's familiar with the coaching staff. I'm not gonna go that far. I think that if he's worth 10.7, That's what Miami's going to have to pay him to bring him here at that 4-year deal because he's a young player, so he's going to want a long-term contract, something that's going to guarantee him stability. So I would definitely say that now, right now, he's making about 4.5 million, and that was his average salary under the current contract. So there's definitely some opportunity there. And again, guys, we're gonna have to do a lot of restructuring um, to be able to command this type of salary, along with obviously cutting some guys or having to make some tough roster decisions when it comes to guys like Zach Sealer and of those nature. So that would be my first tackle off the list. I would say I only have a list of three, ladies and gentlemen. I put a guy I want, a guy in the middle, and then a vet that might do something that you can bring in. I was looking at was Jordan Taylor out of Jacksonville. He's 25 years old, um, and obviously with the season that Jacksonville had, he has commanded some attention. Right now, his current market value is a 3-year, $36 million deal, which is average is about $12 million a year. A little bit over Mike, and with the year less, obviously, that would put him at the seventh ranked right tackle salary wise. So there's definitely some opportunity there. He was a second round pick in the 2019 draft out of Florida. And if you're suspicious, his agent is Drew, and obviously everybody knows the familiarity with Drew Rosenthal with the Miami Dolphins.
Rosenhaus.
So there's that option there at the tackle.
Rosenhaus.
Yeah, Rosenthal, exactly.
Yo, there's a hell of a delay
Which-
on your thing, man.
and the tackle that I was looking at here, yeah, I know, I'm bad with names. And then the last guy I was looking at um, was David Kissenberry. I don't even know if I said that shit right. Did I know your name? He is the vet, 32 years old. Obviously, he played in Buffalo, kind of passing attack offense, which is kind of what Miami has resulted to. So he might fit just right in this offense. So there is that option there. And again, like this. So for instance, with this, his average doesn't appear on market value, but I'm assuming based off of he's 32 years old, he has 5 years experience. He's going to look for a decent contract, so I'd probably do like a 2-year, $10 or $12 million deal type of thing. Is probably what he's looking at, anywhere from 10 to 12 million on a 2-year deal is what I would pay him due to his age. And you could just kind of focus on bringing somebody else in underneath him to kind of gain some experience to add some more leverage there. But that would be probably my third pick there as a suitable pick. So those are my three tackles that I have currently at this moment. Obviously, number one would be Mike, number John, and number David would be my three options here, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me what you think, man. Tell me what this list. Um, who do you have that kind of sticks out to you as I pull this list back so you can get a chance to actually look at it? Um, what sticks out to you where you're going to say, hey, look, man, let's go after this guy, right? So you have number one on the list here is George Font. You have Mike McGlinchey, which I talked about, Billy Turner, Juwan James. I think we're going to go for a second stint with him. Juwan Taylor, David. You have Josh Jermaine Zamora. I can't even say his fucking last name. Jermaine Bidet. You have Marcus Finn. So you got a guard that you could win that bring in as vets. And again, it all depends on what they do with the roster prior to March 15th. Um, oh, and Cap went backstage again. We put him back on. Oh, Cap, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Anyways, obviously there's. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, you went backstage.
You got a 5-second delay.
When I'm sharing screen, I don't see that shit. Oh, I do? Ah, shit.
Yeah, the reception's coming out real bad, bro.
Okay. Yeah, pinga city. Unfortunately, I cannot. Actually, can I? Yeah, stop screen. There we go. All right, can you? Is it a little bit better? Sometimes when I stop screen, it comes out a little bit better.
Yeah, but for some reason it has me on a delay.
That's weird. The screen itself, or the actual like me talking.
Like right now, when you're finishing your sentence, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. You come out perfect.
Like right now, can you hear me now? Right now, fine.
I can hear right now, right now.
All right, perfect, perfect. All right, we're good.
Real quick, I'm gonna take this time real quick. I'm gonna add El Gordito making a rare appearance. Mr. El Gordito.
Gabriel, where he at?
Oh, what? Oh, yeah, you can't hide from me, bitch. ¿Qué hola, hacer?
Here making a rare appearance.
I know. I saw it. Just said I was like, hey man, making a rare appearance. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, so what do you think? What do you think about the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl. Man, I don't know, man. I thought those Eagles were gonna fly hard, but it looks like Mr. Mahoney's came back. But at the end of the day, everything is a script. So we got to go by the script, and the script says that.
Don't tell me you one of those that believe that.
You didn't see the score, bro, last week? It was very,
Don't,
very, very
don't tell
close.
me that.
Every
That
week
you
is
believe
like that.
That is script. Bro,
Instead of what, 34-37, it was 35-38.
Yeah, by one, right? Nah, but listen, the only thing I have to put out there is that this year, the year 2022, the Matria let us down because we were supposed to go undefeated and we were supposed to win the Super Bowl this year. So the Matria, thank you for being wrong.
Yeah, bro, it's funny, man.
What?
Like it's crazy.
Yeah, man. But hey, bro, Cap, it's good to be on here with you, my brother. I was definitely talking to Big Philly. I definitely want to do a little segment one of these days. And we're gonna name the segment El Godito Break Silence. Cause it looks like my name is very bad out there, and I feel like we definitely have to fix some things up, my brother. But you know,
Uh-oh.
Yeah, man. That's on your time whenever you're ready, man. I mean, for me, like your brother just brought up Billy Turner, and I'm like, Billy Turner played for the Dolphins. Why would we want to re-sign him again just to prove that we screwed up?
Hey man, listen, bro. He is available, and I'm just reading based
bro,
off the sport track.
what are you saying?
I never
We gotta
said
get
that
a
I
left
want Billy
tackle.
Turner.
In case of Armstead
I
gets hurt, we gotta
never
get a left
said I
tackle.
wanted Billy Turner. I named my 3 tackles, and I said, "Yo, Cap, out of this list, who sticks out?" And I said,
He's
I
a
even went down. I
tackle or a
said, "Billy
guard?
tackle."
I
Billy
thought he was a
Turner, no.
guard.
Billy
I don't
Turner
think
played
that.
right
No, that's not.
guard
I don't think that's the
and
same
played
Billy
He
left
played
Turner.
guard
tackle.
for us, right?
He did, but I don't think that's the same Billy Turner.
I hope not.
You
But
talking about the guy
anyway,
with the dreads?
he plays for he played for Denver, I think.
That's the same Billy Turner, Papa.
Oh God.
For that, I pick up John Jerry.
Yeah, he played for Denver. Yeah, bro. No, so my 3 tackles are Mike
He went to the
McGlinchey,
Giants, I think.
Juwan James. I mean, not Juwan James, Juwan Taylor. I apologize. And David Kissenberry is the 3 tackles I got on my
No, but
list.
the
If I'm the
guy you
Dolphins, if
named
I'm
from
looking at
San
starting
Fran,
tackle.
I'm hearing his name a lot too.
Yeah, Mike
Trent
Mike
Williams?
McGlinchey.
No,
Um,
McClinchy. McClinchy, that's his name.
yeah, McGlinchey. So I'll pull him back up here, guys. He's 28. He's 28 years old, right out of San Francisco. Was drafted in the first round. Um, again, he has a lot of familiarity with Mike McDaniels and that offense and the style of offense they want to run. So I would say that would be the best option if obviously he is not re-signed, is not that. So that was, but the issue with him is that he's going to command more or less. anywhere from 10 to 12 million a year,
Well, you
depending
got to
on the
see it like
signing
this, though,
market
man. I
and
mean,
when he
we
signs.
cannot
So,
afford to
because imagine if
gamble
we
getting a
faced
lineman. See
Miami,
it like this. We can't get a lineman in the draft, bro. Like, if we're gonna spend money, we're gonna have to spend money on the line. I'm with you. Like, the names you're looking up, they're high names, but we got to get at least 2 of those guys. And the problem is, I think we're gonna sign him to like maybe a 1 year, 2 year deal, to fill up this window that we got to win. And for me, it's just like
if they're
you
gonna
don't
do
see no
that, then they're
high
not gonna go
names.
after a guy like Mike. They're gonna go after Juwan
Yeah, but I
Taylor.
mean, I would try to get 2 linemen in free agency for sure. Because I mean, in the draft, I mean, are you really going to try to do the same thing we've been trying to do the past 3 years with rookie linemen?
But the problem is that in the draft we don't have a pick
There
until
is
the second
there is a
round.
couple guys that are available. There is a couple guys that are available, and again, like I want to go through this mock
Plug in
draft
players that are ready to
after
play
we
now,
make our choice on who Miami picks. I'm sorry.
like plug in players ready
Well,
to play
some of them
now, not
maybe. It
no project
depends
players.
because, like, for instance, one of the guys from Ohio State. Well, the most listen, bro. Most guys that are coming out of the draft are ready to play now. The issue is, can they compete at this level? And that's where you find guys having issues, and they're like, "Oh, well, we got to give them time," and they start making up all these. But again, a lot of guys just can't play at this level, and
Listen,
there's
but
difference.
regardless of the fact,
Juwan James,
Miami does
I got
not
Juwan
have a
James.
pick until the
Austin
second
Jackson did not
round.
play at this level.
Miami doesn't
Say it
have a
again.
pick until the second round. If we're gonna look
That's
for
fine. So
any
what?
offensive
We only
lineman,
have 6 picks.
but listen, if we're looking for any offensive lineman, it's because we're gonna give up someone on our team now to trade up in that draft. So we're gonna go after veterans. And Mike McDaniels, he's more of a veteran kind of coach than he is of picking up in the draft and developing at this point. Mike McDaniels is running for that ring, and I think that I could definitely agree with Big Philly here that we might pick up Jawan James or a veteran
Juwan Taylor.
and sign him to a 1 year deal. Because listen,
Taylor. Juwan
Tyreek
James.
Hill's not staying with Miami.
We don't
Tyreek
want
Hill's
that guy
gonna be
back
like
here.
another LeBron James.
Juwan Taylor. But he's not coming here on a 1 year. These guys want money, bro. They're not going to come here in a 1 year. If you're going to try to
They'll
bring
get a
somebody in
one
on a
year
one
deal,
year,
bro. Hey, on a 1 year deal, they'll
if you're
make
going to
more than what
try
they're
to,
getting in value price, bro. Guaranteed. Chris Greer will do that shit, bro.
these are young. Remember the two guys that I mentioned, but Cap. The reason why I'm saying that is the two guys, they're young, playing older later. If you want to bring in a guy on a 1 year deal, you're gonna target a guy like Ifadi, if whatever the fuck his name is, Jermaine Ifadi from Atlanta. You're gonna target guys like David Kissenberry. You're gonna target guys like Billy Turner, George Font, like guys like that already got paid, and they're just trying to get a ring somewhere. You see what I'm saying? Or they're just trying to be relevant. That's where you're gonna find those 1 year guys. But when you look at guys like
you
Mike
know,
McGlinchey, guys like Juwan, they want to get paid their first contract. You're gonna backtrack if you do that. You get what I'm saying?
so let me ask you this. On the line that we have now, who are you willing to invest in long term?
Um, Robert Hunt. That's it.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're gonna
Robert
invest
Hunt,
in
and then
McGlinchey,
obviously you have
you offer him a good deal because you want to solidify that spot.
exactly. And then what you have is you have Armstead there for 2 years. He probably retire here. You're gonna
I
have
can't
Connor
rely on
Williams
him,
that,
bro.
when again,
We gotta get a contingency plan for him too, also.
yeah, well, we do. That's why you have all that depth. But you're gonna solidify the right side, and then you're gonna have all that depth at the left side. You can bring in a guy. You can have a guy like who stepped in for him this season. I can't think of his name at the moment. You had a couple tackles that filled in for him that played better than Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg, but we do have some options there as backups, not as full-time starters. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends on what Miami decides to do and what they decide to target. I think the biggest priority is that right side tackle position over the guard position or center. And I also have here I don't know what happened to Gordito, but I'm going back over here to the tracker.
So
So
he's coming
hey, if
back.
you see anybody in backstage, let me know. Huh?
He just texted me now. He says he's gonna be on a little while.
Look at that position. There's a couple of there's a couple of can target the okay. He's easy. All right, cool. Uh, all right, so yeah, so when you look at the center position, um, you got guys like Connor McGovern. You have Jason Kelsey, which obviously it depends on what happens if he decides to retire, or maybe Philly wants to bring him back because Philly has another center, if I'm not mistaken, that's on the market. I'll tell you right now, there is. I swore I saw another center on the market. Oh, and it's their guard that's on the market as well. So you have Jason Kelsey there that you can bring in and then move Williams over back to his natural position at guard. And then with Mike McGlinchey, now you solidified your offensive line. You see what I'm saying? So that will be Kelsey on a 1 year deal. He's going to try to win here. Now you have Kelsey in the middle at center. You have Williams in at guard where Jones was playing, and you have obviously you have Hunt on the other side. Then you have Liam Eichenberg. I mean not Liam Eichenberg. I'm sorry, Trent Armstead and Mike on the edges, hammering down that obviously solidifying those tackle positions. Now this offensive line goes from middle to a pack to bottom tier. So you're looking at definitely a top tier offensive line, and you could sign Kelsey on a 1-2 year deal, probably a 1 year deal, because if he's going to come back, he's going to want to come back for a contender, which we are, regardless of whether people want to believe it or not. That's on them, but we are a contender regardless of what people want to believe, whether they don't like our quarterback or not. Talent that we have on this roster currently, even with all the free agents, we are a contender because they're going to bring back a lot of these guys. So, we do have options there at the tackle position. We can also go guard. We can also go guard. And again, a lot of this varies on what they decide to do in the season. They like to trade guys like Agba. If they try to move on from Byron Jones, whether he's cut post June, or whether he is traded, or maybe they keep him and they get rid of that need at corner because now we don't need to focus at the corner position because they restructure Byron Jones because maybe he wants to play for Vic Fangio. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff there that Miami can do. Miami can easily shave. If I think I ran the numbers, and from 14, if you move Byron down to I think 10 million or 12 million for the year, then it opens up 6 million in cap space. So we go 6 million over the cap. I was running the numbers earlier today. So that's also a restructuring Agba. So you restructure Agba and Byron because of the performance issues. And if they don't want to go ahead and restructure, then guess what? You trade them or you cut them. It's just that simple because we have other needs that we need to attend to. So you got guys like that. You have also, yeah, I mean, if they want to go and spend some money, they'll bring in a guy like Connor McGovern. You can also bring in a guy like Rodney Hudson, but I would prefer um, Jason Kelsey because Hudson kind of did take a drop off and play. You have guys like Tyler Larson out of Washington. So there is some options there at the center position if they decide to move Williams over to his natural position and the guard at guard, which is where he was relevant at. You see what I'm saying? So then you have the guard position. So let's say they decide, hey, you know what, we're going to keep Williams at center and we're going to go ahead and look for a guard. They have a lot of options there at guard. They have a lot of options, and the one that really stuck out to me that I would think that I would make that push trying to bring him here. Sonamalo. Can't even say this guy's last name. Another Hawaiian. Them Hawaiian boys, bro. They know how to play They know how to play offensive line, bro. But anyways, out of Philly, he's 29 years old. You could definitely build on him along with Robert Jones and solidify the interior offensive line. And a guy like that's going to command 12.1 million on a 2-year, $24 million deal, which is kind of like what what you were saying, Cap, where you want to bring in a guy like that for 2 years. You can bring in a guy like this at at 12.1 million, and he'll come here. He'll come here. So, because I don't think the Eagles got enough to pay for both of these guys. So they're gonna have to make a choice. Now, if Kelsey decides I can retire, that's a whole different story. But I think Kelsey got some more in the tank that's left. I don't think he's ready to hang up the cleats, especially after that Super Bowl. He's got an opportunity. So is it with Philly or if he does it with another team, that's a different story. So there's a lot of options here at least on the offensive line side that they could do. So let's say they bring in a guy like Solomalo, and they solidify the interior. They bring in a vet and they don't go Mike McGlinchey, or maybe they go Mike, and they bring in a guy like Justin Pug or Roger Softfold, something like that, or even bringing back. I know a lot of people don't like him, but bringing back a guy like Jesse Davis to play the interior. You can do that at a cheaper value and make that line a little bit better and just have a guard position, um, have a battle for that starting guard position there. You could definitely do something like that to solidify this offensive line, especially if you're really, really, really investing into a Tagovailoa's career. You see what I'm saying? So, excuse me. So there's different options here that they can do when it comes to to their offensive line in the off season. The other position I have, like I stated earlier, is the inside middle linebacker position, opposite side of Baker, because unlike some people in this fan base, I actually do like Baker, but there's a lot of options Miami could bring that they can definitely take advantage of certain situations. One of them is bringing which Gordito would love to hear this, the hometown kid, Mr. Devin Bush. I don't think he re-signed yet or extended. He's going to command a 1-year deal, 1 year prove it. Right now, it's estimated 1 year, $3 million deal. He is athletic. He hasn't kind of been the same since the injury, but I think Vic Fangio, obviously a linebackers coach, can definitely coach this kid up and bring him back to the way he was playing when he came into the league, which was lights out. You could definitely bring in a guy like Anthony Walker Jr., who's also commanding about the same 1 year, 4.5 million. Termy Edmonds, his contract is a little different, ladies and gentlemen. It's commanding a lot more. Obviously, to bring him over from Buffalo, it's not going to be cheap to bring in a talented guy like him who can definitely cover sideline to sideline. He has the speed, but he's going to command more or less $11 million a year on a 4-year deal, averaging about $44 million. I don't think they're going to have to prioritize whether or not they want to focus on the actual offensive line or if they want to focus on the interior defense. So that's going to be a conversation that Mike McDaniels, Chris Greer, and Vic Fangio are going to have. A very uncomfortable situation, but they're going to have to prioritize what's more important for this team's success going into next season. So you have there those options there. Those are my three. Those are my three linebackers that I would like. I think Delvin Bush the number one target, even over Edmonds because of the cap situation. And who knows if it works out? Now we got somebody that can run. That he also can go sideline to sideline, and we just got to get him back to 100%. Um, and then I'd say, there's two other positions. One is running back, and obviously one is corner. I don't feel that we have a safety issue I don't feel that we have a free safety issue. I like Byron. I like Brandon Jones, and I like obviously Javon Holland at safety positions. So we'll just cover real quick the running backs and then go to the corners, and then based off of that, we'll go ahead and do a mock draft, and we'll move on to the XFL next after that. So obviously you have some running backs available. Um, I hear a lot of Kareem Hunt's name being thrown around from some people in the Dolphins community and wanting to obtain him. Let's look at what his market value will look like, and you guys, you make that decision whether or not you would pay that. But so right now he's commanding 2 years, 14 million, 7 million average a year. He is not coming here on a 1 year deal, guys. He is not coming for the vet minimum. So he's going to try to make some bread before he's young, bro. He's 27 years old. He's already been in the league for 6 years out of Toledo. So he's going to want to make some sort of cheddar and have some sort of stability for him. Which yeah, he could be that back, but can he sustain it? That we're not sure because he hasn't done it in so many years. You have guys like Josh Jacobs. Um, Saquon's going to average. He wants obviously Christian McCaffrey type money, so I'm not even going to bother looking at a guy like him, especially when you have other needs. Um, so he's looking at more or less 12.8 4 year, $51 million. So he's another one high price free agent at running back. We don't pay running backs here in Miami, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to tell you, but I don't think any of these guys are coming over here. I think Kareem Hunt might be an option. I say Raheem Mostert, retaining him, maybe bringing back Wilson Jr. Would definitely be something that would be nice. And something, we still have a third back opening. We can either go in the draft. But you know what? I'd bring in a guy like Rex Burkhead. Guy like Rex Burkhead, Boston Scott, like a thumper. Somebody's going to come in on goal line situations and thump their way in. Would be nice. He's going to command about a 2.2, which is something similar that Miami might be able to afford, especially depending on what they decide to do at the tackle and guard position when it comes to salary, right? So you have those options there at the running back position, the linebacker position. Obviously, I think Devin Bush, which again, Gordito's going to love me hearing that, but Devin Bush might be the best in there with the salary cap situations that we're currently under, along with, bringing a guy like him, Raheem Mostert, maybe bringing in Wilson Jr. again, and then bringing in a guy like that, like, Rex Burkhead or Devontae Foreman, something like that, like a thumper, somebody who's going to come in on goal line situations and be able to open up some nice holes along with, Alec Ingold. With that, we're going to go over here to the draft, the mock simulator draft here for PFF is what I'm using, ladies and gentlemen, today. And again, I already ran some simulations with our current draft picks. I even did a trade for one. Um, so we're gonna have a little bit of fun here, guys, and play with this a little bit as I figure out why I only have 2 rounds here. I want to do all rounds, but let's see if it makes me only do 2 rounds. Not that it matters because the third round is 2 picks, but that's where we're gonna get most of our value. So we're gonna start the draft, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, Miami does not pick in the first round. We pick in the second round, ladies and gentlemen. So as I go ahead and force this over to the second round, damn, that forfeit pick really does fucking hurt when you see it. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a center out of Minnesota that is available. And yep, there he is, John Michael Schmitz. There's been a lot of talk about him, but he is kind of like it's a reach at that stage. You could trade back a little bit, maybe trading with the team like a couple picks back, a guy like maybe like Chicago, Detroit, Jacksonville. Maybe they got a guy there that they want to pick up, that they want to jump ahead, and you can just move a couple picks back, and he might be there. There is a lot of talk with him. Well, there's been a lot of different mock draft simulators where Miami picks him up in the second round, and in that case, we don't need a guard. We can move Williams over to guard, and we could start this guy John Michael Smith there at the center position. You have Kayshon Boudier, which I don't think we're going to pick him up. We don't have a need at wide receiver. But another one here is this TCU guy right here, Travarius Hodges Tomlinson. He's another guy that he is very explosive for TCU. He was a lockdown corner. You have Trent Simmons out of Clemson. So there's a couple different options that you would have here in this second round as we approach this draft. You have Joe Tippmann. I don't know. We've had pretty bad experience drafting Wisconsin centers, especially with Mike Dietrich playing like ass, but whatever. Um, you have Mike Morris, Cam Smith, but Darnell Wright. But if I'm Miami, obviously depending on what we decide to do in free agency, let's say we let's say we can't afford the guard and the center, and we're gonna just bring in Mike at tackle. Then I'm gonna draft the guy right here, John Michael Smith, because that's all we got that's available. You could go tackle too there, depending if we pick up Mike. But in this case, um, if I'm not mistaken, he's a C grade at the number 2 spot. Let me double check here. I don't know why it's not giving me the option for more rounds because I was doing it earlier and I had a couple rounds in. And with that, I'm gonna also. I just realized I didn't drop the link, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna drop the link here in a second in case somebody else wants to come on and talk a little shit with Big Philly. Hold on one second here. Bam, copied. Hey, and there we go. We got the link right there in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. If y'all want to come on and talk a little bit, bear with me because I am going back and forth between screens. So if you don't see that, I don't let you on right away. Don't take it personal. Just I'm probably on the other screen. I don't even notice that you're on. But anyways, um, so again, yeah, he's a C plus grade out of Minnesota. Not like again, he is an average pick. I would say he's probably more like a late second round to third round pick. But obviously it's a reach because of the availability at that position. Um, and again, Minnesota does have a kind of grind offensive line there. So a lot of those Midwest teams, since obviously they do have great they do have a great knack for finding those rough, rugged offensive linemen. So there is that. Give me a second as I try to figure out why the fuck I can't do any other rounds, but 2 rounds. It should allow me to do all 7 rounds, but for some reason it's not showing up. Let's see Pro Football Network. All right. We'll do 7 rounds fast because that shit takes forever. And I'm gonna go AFC East. I mean my Dolphins, let's draft. All right, so boom. All right. And it's crazy because in this here, Jalen Carter from Detroit gets drafted. CJ Stroud gets drafted out of Ohio State to Houston. William Anderson, the edge for Arizona. Anthony Richardson, quarterback, Indianapolis. So these drafts they get a little fun. They get a little fun, ladies and gentlemen. You have a little bit of fun with these things. I know I fast, but this shit's moving slower than me. They moving slow. Um, Let me click back over as this shit's going. So Will Levis gets drafted by the Lions. You have Quentin Johnston for wide receiver at TCU gets drafted by the New England Patriots. Killing Ringo, cornerback, Georgia to Washington. Um, you have Michael Meyer, tight end out of Notre Dame. Um, Diaz Robinson, running back, gets drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this draft. Um, so you have Jermaine Gibbs, running back out of Alabama, gets picked up by Buffalo. Just kind of naming some guys here as this thing goes over to round two. DeJuan Jones, Ohio State. See, DeJuan Jones in a lot of mock drafts, ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't make it. He actually gets he falls to the third round in a couple of those drafts, those mock drafts that I've done, and he's there available in the third round. Emmanuel Forbes is another one that has, depending on how this draft night goes, he can drop down late, mid second round pick at corner. If he's there, I say Miami take a shot at him. Um, you know, right now as our pick is approaching, we have Darnell Washington available at tight end. That's also another need that we have. Um, Here we go. We're approaching our Hendon Hooker is getting drafted by the Washington Redskins. I'm the Commanders. I'm sorry. And does Tampa go after Darnell Washington? Boom. No. So we have trades, right? So like, and again, like I was talking about earlier with some of these scenarios, you could trade back. Um, this pick brings us back to the 75th pick, and also gives us a second pick in 2024. I'm going to reject this because I think that we have more needs than we do trying to gain draft capital, and I'm going to reject that. We have one more offer here, the 87th pick, and a second round 2024 for the 51st pick and the 204. So we're dropped down to the third round. I don't like that offer. So I'm not going to take an offer at this current moment. And so we have some options here. We have Darnell Washington, tied in out of Georgia. We have, I would say I'm going based off of needs again. We have Darnell Wright out of Tennessee at tackle. If we do have a linebacker need, Noah Sewell out of Oregon. So you have a couple different guys there that you can reach for. Um, and honestly, with me, ladies and gentlemen, I feel that Miami should go after a tight end in this position. Darnell Washington, he's one hell of a talent at that tight end position. And if he does fall to the 52nd pick, I think that's a great opportunity for our Dolphins to take advantage. So I'm going to pick him up here right now, Darnell Washington, tight end out of Georgia that I picked was draft here. Boom. He's a Miami Dolphin. As we move along here to the third round, this thing here fucking moves. It's just slow as shit. It's crazy. I put fast. Like PFF, when he put fast, it's going 100 miles an hour. Oh shit, almost dropped my laptop. Oh no. All right, here we go. So, I wonder where Noah Sewell is going to get drafted to. Oh, and he just got drafted to Dallas. Wow, that's going to be a nasty pairing between him and Minka Parsons. That's going to be Micah Parsons. That's a nasty combination right there, guys. Um, Tyreek Stevens is another guy that in some mock drafts he falls to the third round. He's another capable corner out of what you call it, Miami. Trayvarius Rogers and Tomlinson just got drafted. Jordan Battle just got drafted out of to the Jets. And why did this thing just draft for me? So for some reason, this thing just drafted for me, and Miami drafts a corner, who's also, by the way, he is a pretty good fucking corner. Um, Kai Blue Kelly out of Stanford in this draft, and this as the 77th overall pick for the Miami Dolphins. As I approach our Dolphins pick here, so There's a couple guys that are available here, depending on obviously depending on need. If we already signed the tackle, if we signed Mike, or if we even signed the guard, so we have some options here that we can bring in. So let's go over here to the offense because I want to see if we can bring in a good running back here. So you have Tank Bisley, which I've seen a little bit about. You have Ricky Stormberg if you want to go offensive center. You have Karaman. Well, we already drafted that tight end, so that tight end's out of the question. So if I'm gonna go here, um, and let's say um, you do retain guys like I'm having a brain fart, Mostert and Wilson Jr. I think I'm gonna stay away from that, and kind of go over here. Let's see what options we have on the defensive side. We already drafted a corner. We drafted a tight end. We do have a middle linebacker. We still do have a linebacker need. So I'm gonna go over here to look at the linebackers and see what options we would have here, ladies and gentlemen. Here we got a couple guys here that we could go. We already drafted a center, so we don't need a center. We don't need edge. We don't need defensive tackles. So you can go out of Iowa, Jake Campbell. I've heard a little bit about. You have Mohammed Davidi. You have Jalen Graham out of Purdue, Dorian Williams. So I think I'm going to go after the best one available, and Jake Campbell. I know it's a little reach, but you know what? It's a nice pickup there for the Miami Dolphins. And let it ride. I think the last couple picks, the last picks in the seventh round is going to be auto drafted. So let's see. Now it's actually moving. The shit wasn't moving like that earlier. It was moving like a turtle. Sixth round. Oh, now it wants to stop on me, motherfuckers. Anyways, so here we have. Let's see who's the best players available. So here I would probably draft best player available at the sixth round. Um, and there's not much. So as you get deeper into these drafts, you start seeing, obviously um, a lot less options here at the offense, at least on talent side. But you could find some gems there, right? So if I'm gonna go, I might go running back here. You have Hunter uh, Lupek from North Dakota State. You have Cameron Peoples out of Appalachian State. Um, you have Deuce Van Gay out of Kansas State. So I'm definitely probably gonna go. I'm gonna target here in North Dakota. But actually, you can actually look up here. Oh, they have no fucking information. I hate when they do that. But he is a big boy, 6'1", 236. He's probably a thumper. Um, I wonder what his 40 is gonna be when he runs it. They don't have anything here. I hate when they don't have much. Let's see what this Kansas State guy. 5'6", 176. No, I'm good. Yes, I'm probably gonna go North Dakota because he has the most information right now. And actually do some scouting on these guys. All right. Well, I couldn't with kicker. I know some of y'all would have been happy. Noah Ruggles out of Ohio State. What y'all think? Should we draft a kicker if he's available? Oh, no, not anymore. He ain't available. Oh, no, he's still here, actually. I think I have one more pick. It's crazy. That shit stopped on me, right? Stopped on me. Um, no, I'm sorry. It passed me twice and then stopped on me. Motherfuckers. They didn't even let me pick the rest of my guys. For some reason, I can't scroll this side down. All right. So as we're approaching here, we should have one more pick here in the 200s. And we drafted a tight end, we drafted a linebacker, and we drafted a corner and a running back. So right there, we got some needs. We got some needs covered. We're approaching. Should we go? Should we go? Maybe maybe if he's there, I might go there. Oh no, he's gone. Man, this mock draft for this one, bro, fucking de pinga. I ain't got nobody. The last mock drafts I did, bro, I can show you guys some pictures. We had some players, ladies and gentlemen. I had some options. This mock draft is tough. Oh man, here we go. Let's see if it stops. Let's see if it stops because it didn't stop the last one. It just kept going. Oh, it stopped. Look at that, fucker. Anyways, um, let's see what we got here. Uh, maybe we go tackle. I don't have enough information. I hate when they do that. The thing is, we don't really have much info on these latest guys yet until uh, have. I think I'm gonna go Carl Brooks out of Bowling Green, defensive tackle. 'Cause we need a tackle. I could have went Gabe Waters out of Buffalo. Too late now. Mm, so I wonder if there's going to be anybody that gets caught with a gas mask and drops to the second round. What do y'all think? I don't know. It's the draft, ladies and gentlemen. You never know. Oh wow! Breaking news: officially, the Las Vegas Raiders release quarterback Derek Carr. Derek Carr now has the option to go wherever he likes. Um, So here's the picks, ladies and gentlemen. Our four picks, our five picks actually. Darnell Washington, K.U. Bukele, Jack Campbell, Hunter Lupek, and Carl Brooks at the 240 pick. This is what I had there for one mock drafts. That's a funny fucking commercial right there. So that's kind of where we're at there. As for one of those mock drafts, there's a lot of options, man, for the Dolphins to do. It all varies. It all varies on. Um, let me pull up here. It all varies on what they decide to do um, in free agency, right? So if they decide to go ahead and draft a tackle, or assign a tackle from free agency, or a center, or even a guard, um, depending on what they decide to do on the offensive line. They could go again, like those needs change, and they bring in guys like Devin Bush. Maybe they spend some money. They're able to restructure. Maybe they target more corner. I think definitely if Darnell Washington's there in the second round, he's definitely going to be a Miami Dolphin, especially with the fact that we probably will lose Mike Gesicki this offseason, and he will probably test the open market. So we have that there to replace him, and I think he is a suitable tight end to replace him for the Miami Dolphins, or to replace Mike Gesicki. Um, so there's that. You know, Football season is now over for the NFL, but the XFL is just beginning. February 18th is the first game. It's going to start on NBC. I think it's Saturday. Saturday, yeah, Saturday, February 18th at 3 o'clock. First game. Let me scroll down here. First game, we got the Vegas Vipers and the Arlington Renegades. Second game, you got Orlando Guardians and the Houston Roughnecks. And then you have two games on Sunday where you have the St. Louis Battlehawks versus the San Antonio Birminghams. Bahamas, whatever that is. And then the Seattle Sea Dragons and the DC Defenders. There's some familiar faces in some of these teams. I know Seattle has Josh Gordon. You got Lynch. You have AJ McCarron, quarterback that used to play for Cincinnati. So there's a lot of different guys that are there, some potential. And a lot of these guys too that are playing, those are possible dudes that Miami can bring in here, once their season ends. Depending on how some of these guys play between the XFL and the USFL, those are potential guys that you can bring in here, right? So depending on how some of these guys plays, hey man, you fans, you Dolphin fans out there that are serious in scouting, you definitely want to be paying attention to some of these games that are coming up in the upcoming weeks. It should be a lot of fun to watch. Obviously, football, anytime you get to watch football after football is over is great. I think that they're going to put on a show. I mean, obviously, you have Dwayne The Rock Johnson running things out there. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So, I might even catch a game when Orlando plays. I don't know. I got to see what the schedule looks like and all that stuff. But maybe I could ride up to Orlando and catch a game for the Predators. But you know, gives guys an opportunity to play. There's a lot of dudes that don't get drafted. There's a lot of dudes that go home. They don't get calls after the draft that have some potential there. That like Cap said earlier. Are these guys going to need some work? This is definitely the opportunity for them to get that work and get some at a little bit higher caliber than what the NCAA provides, with some serious coaches, right? Some serious coaches that actually have experience, that have been a part of some coaching staffs, Super Bowl coaching staffs, playoff contender coaching staffs on all levels. So you're gonna have a lot of different opportunities there to go ahead and grow, and be successful at that position. So you're gonna have a lot of fun. Um, the Dolphins just dropped Jalen Phillips 2022 NFL season video on YouTube. And before y'all say nothing, I am not putting that shit on here because I ain't getting in trouble. I still can't believe they did that shit to Derek Carr, bro. That shit's just wild. I don't get how you can go and just release somebody that's been um, you know, a basically the foundation of the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, I don't understand how you get rid of somebody like that. You know, Pro Bowl caliber quarterback is beyond me. It's crazy. So there, and I'm also reading too. Even though they're getting released, Saints are still the front runners for Derek Carr. They probably didn't want to give up the same trade package or compensation, so they decided just to allow um, him to walk. Is probably what ended up happening. They couldn't come to an agreement with the Las Vegas Raiders and the New Orleans Saints. So there's some truth to that there. Um, boy, eat a long ass dinner. Dang. I don't know, man. So again, there's only so much that you can do with the Dolphins currently in the situation that they're in the cap. Um, as you see me here looking over, I'm watching the Canes the Canes North Carolina Tar Heel game. Canes are currently up 52-40 in the second half. 11 minutes to go in that game as the Canes just dropped another deuce and they just picked up the defensive rebound on the Tar Heels and they're pushing back down the court. So I got that game going on, and there we go. Uh, we get an offensive or defensive penalty on the Tar Heels. They're gonna go shoot some free throws. So Canes are playing real good. Canes are playing lights out there on the basketball field, on the basketball court. Just kind of going off subject here from football. You gotta watch a little sports, right? You gotta have fun. But I hope the Canes win. The Canes will pull it out, though. Canes will pull it out. You also got the Heat playing tonight. You have the Panthers game coming on. I think at 8:30. So there's some sports going on in Miami tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all better catch it. Y'all better watch some sports tonight. Just saying. So yeah, man. I don't know. Tell me in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen, what y'all think about what Miami's doing right now. How y'all feel. I kind of went into it a little bit with the mock draft. I did one mock draft. Um, I'm not going to do two because it is a process. I want to open up the floor for anybody who wants to come on and um, and talk football, talk Dolphins football, talk any football. I mean, obviously that news with Derek Carr. It's a little bit. I guess now it's actually like setting in that it's real. I guess. I mean, I knew everybody was gonna. I knew it was gonna happen eventually. But then again, you never know. So um, again, I dropped the link in the bio in the comment section for those of y'all who want to come in and talk Dolphins football. Um, again, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good off season. This I'm curious to see what they decide to do um, with that cap and how they structure it to where they can open up some cap space to bring in guys like that. But there's a lot of options. There is a lot of options that Miami has that they can definitely leverage to be able to make a splash. Something where we could definitely build on. I know they say we got a 2-year window, but I think we got a little bit more than that, depending on how they structure some of these deals. And then obviously, as you know, as we continue to go through seasons, they can obviously restructure, and then you're gonna have some guys fall off, and then you're gonna have to pay some guys. So, I think that it's a kind of like a revolving window, as it always has been. A team. If you really want to talk about a team that's going to have some cap struggles, is going to be Philly, because like I said, they got already two starting key starting offensive line pieces that are both free agents, and obviously depending on what they decide to do this off season, can very well much be two guys that they can't bring back. So it's going to be interesting to see how Philly comes out of that. Obviously Kansas City. Kansas City's kind of set right now. I think they'll probably bring back Juju Smith-Schuster for another season, especially after the season that he was definitely a supporting cast and had a great second half. Had some key moments there in the end of the second half in that Super Bowl where it definitely assisted him in pushing and keeping the ball and pushing the ball downfield, where he kind of lit up and went and just went a little crazy. Just went a little crazy. So there's that there for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. So and then obviously you have other teams too. Aaron Rodgers, a lot of mixture, a lot of rumors right now with Aaron Rodgers and linked to the New York Jets, and they might actually trade for him. I thought that it probably would have been Las Vegas. That would have been that team that could have pushed for that, but for if I would have had to see another team pick up Rodgers, I probably would have wanted to see the Raiders. Uh, but we got to see what Green Bay decides to do, and if they decide to finally move on from him, or if they're gonna stick it out with him for another year. Right? Is Jordan Love ready? That should be a question to ask. Is Jordan Love ready? So there's a lot of questions, man. Um, this offseason is going to bring a lot, man. A lot of questions. I saw the NFL today. They're proposing um, a rule change to not allow teams to hire head coaches until after the Super Bowl, which makes sense because that's the start of the off season. And you don't want to distract. Like for instance, you can't really say that Vic Fangio's hire wasn't a distraction for the Philadelphia Eagles with that going back and forth. So there's different options that they can definitely achieve there. I mean, not different options, but I can see how that can be a distraction, and the NFL may be wanting to hold teams to wait until after the Super Bowl to request for certain guys to talk to and stuff like that, especially coordinators and things of that nature, and respect those teams that are in the playoffs where a lot of those coaches get poached from. So that is a good deed. I mean, a good rule change if they decide to do it. I know a lot of people are a little upset over that holding call at the end of the game there. But I thought it was holding. Obviously, the corner came out and said it was holding. That he did hold. He thought he can get away with it, but ultimately he couldn't, and it cost them the game. Basically, he single-handedly lost the Super Bowl. So we had two back-to-back weeks where one player gives Kansas City the game on the defense. It's back-to-back weeks. Cincinnati and now Philly. But nonetheless, great fucking game. Kudos to both teams. Kudos to the fan base. I'd love to have Jamie back on here, the Philly sports guy. especially this off season. This off season, I'll try to get him on here and talk some Philly Dolphins football as we progress through the off season and talk about the XFL and the USFL once it starts up. So we'll see what's up and how that goes about. It is 8:30, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm gonna call it a night. I'm a little tired. So yeah, man. Hey, bro, thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like and sub, ladies and gentlemen. I have some changes coming to the show soon enough. Obviously, this channel is going to continue to grow. So make sure y'all hit that like, make sure you hit that sub. I got some awesome giveaways going on right now. Nick Needham autograph, JSA certified jersey. I have a Mark Andrews jersey. I'm gonna give away right after that. JSA autographed jersey. And I have a Xavier Howard JSA autograph jersey as well that I'm giving away. I got jerseys for days, ladies and gentlemen. I got jerseys for days. So we're gonna have some fun. Thank y'all for commenting. Thank you guys for coming on the show. Cat for Life, Gordito, man. I love y'all. I'll see y'all on Wednesday. I'm gonna go live again on Wednesday and tune in on Friday nights with me and Batman for BYOB Fridays. Man, y'all have a great night, and I'll catch y'all on Wednesday. Catch you guys on Wednesday. I think Wednesday we might do Gordito special. Gordito's tell all. Yes, sir. Y'all better be ready. All right, man. Y'all have a great night.
Gerardo.